George is an well, they call him a tree hugger. They sort of say, oh, that's George's thing. I've got my bracelets on. I've got my tie dye, and I sort of feel a little professorial with this jacket on, and George is I don't know. I kind of alternately think sometimes when we're doing takes that George is kind of a loser, and other times that he's kind of an enlightened, sentient yogi. So he's kind of somewhere between those two poles, and the audience will have to be the judge. Well, it was very clear to me reading the screenplay that the writer Mars had was sort of, what's the word, was expelling a lot of his own life in the story, and it felt very personal. And that's always a kind of a good sign for me. If you can really feel the life of the writer in the work, then you develop kind of a relationship to the person whose work you're reading, for good, good, bad, or indifferent. And in this case, I found some of the conclusions that he came up with. There's so much in the story or in the screenplay and in the ideas that the characters spew out, and there are reams and reams of dialogue that's just horrible. Horrible, that is the result of, you know, umpteen bad relationships and a kind of corrupt way of thinking about yourself and thinking about others. But where he kind of ends up in the story is a kind of a beautiful, poetic, lovely space, and I kind of liked that. Because I figured the people who this movie would appeal to, because of its crassness, because of its vulgarity, because of its kind of brutal honesty about attitudes and perceptions of relationships, were probably the people most in need of a little bit of a turn or a kind of reaffirmation of something good about their love life. I am mindful of the fact that we are in this sort of Cupid-strewn bar at the moment, but I've got a lot of time in the saddle doing ensemble work, so to me, it just feels, I feel like a piccolo player who's showing up to sit in the third row and play the piccolo. And there's a moment when all of a sudden everything else stops and it's just me playing the piccolo, and there's other times when the whole band is going, and but the other actors on the movie are uh, you know, seasoned veteran performers, and are, you know, I certainly felt easier doing the movie, and comfortable doing the movie, knowing that I would be in their company. So I'm grateful for that.